the hell, man? Like, what the hell? Why can't we just enjoy the greatness when it is given to us? Right? We've been waiting for so long for DC to finally get their shit together to give us something that we've all been wanting. Yeah, we had Snyder and all that, but now we have a clear direction of where everything is going. Everything was sounding great, from DCU being created to James Gunn being in charge and all that, and then the loud minority comes out of nowhere again to kind of make DC look bad once again, right? Like, as a comic book fan, DC Marvel, it shouldn't really matter, right? Like, you should be able to enjoy both sides. But obviously, you have these fanboys that come out of their little holes and just plan to ruin it for everyone. So, as you all know, James Gunn is releasing, or he's not releasing, but his directed vision in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is going to be releasing pretty soon, right? And so, obviously, that's a movie that's coming out. He's going to go ahead and promote it like any other director would promote their upcoming movies. And what happens? Well, a bunch of these little DC fanboys, they go in, and again, I say DC fanboys as a fan of DC and Marvel, but I do not pick a side. Yes, I slightly like DC more than Marvel because I love Superman, I love The Flash, and I love all that. My childhood was a DC on Cartoon Network, Justice League, Batman the Animated Series, and all that. But I don't deny the greats that Marvel has. MCU is amazing. And now we finally have someone that can bring that blueprint over to DC and not necessarily copy Marvel, which James Gunn has already said he's not trying to do that. But he's trying to at least take DC somewhere where Warner Brothers has been a great job of keeping it down. But what's worse than Warner Brothers are these DC fanboys, whether they're Snyder fans or they're just hardcore anti-Marvel fans. And I understand both sides have their own little fan bases like that, but man, so James Gunn he's promoting his movie, he's doing what he's supposed to do, and then these DC fanboys on his Instagram posts or all of his social media, they're posting about it. So comicbook.com, which is a very reliable source for everything, pretty much all the news and everything, they have this article out, so let's just catch up on it real quick and let's see what happened, what exactly happened. So it says, DC Studios co-chair James Gunn is responding to fans upset that he's promoting Marvel Studios' Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. In October, Gunn moved to Marvel's distinguished competition, joining Warner Brothers, Disney's or Discovery's new unified DC studio as co-chairman and CEO with producer Peter Safran to oversee the DC universe across film, television, and animation, right? So Kevin Feige, Gunn's Guardians producer and Marvel's chief creative officer, gave Gunn his blessing and said that the filmmaker overseeing DC characters is exciting and it's very cool after he finishes Guardians 3, of course. Look, that is what you want, right? You want people from Marvel and DC to be cheering each other on because competition is great. You're not supposed to be, pro one thing. Learn something from Kevin Feige here. The dude made billions of dollars for Disney, and he's still cheering a guy leaving his team. So with Volume 3 not hitting theaters on May 5th, Gunn has been making the promotional rounds and shared behind the scenes look from the set of his Marvel movie on Instagram. And then this is where the comments kind of come in. The worst business that DC could do was to hire someone who advertises the competition, one fan wrote. In the comments, shut the up, man. This is like so cringy to read. Unbelievable. Now can you imagine what their movies are going to be like? I think it's a disaster. What the hell does that even mean? Right? Like, how do you even know it's going to be a disaster because you don't like Marvel movies? Come on, man. Shit like this makes it embarrassing to wear stuff like this outside, right? Like, the last thing I would want someone to be like, that's a Superman fanboy. He probably doesn't like Marvel. Right? Like, as a comic book fan, you want to be able to conversate or have conversations with these people regardless of whether it's a Marvel or a DC movie property, whatever it needs to be. So let's continue with the article. The last thing DC would want is someone who would, and this is Gunn, by the way. Gunn is responding back to those people. The last thing DC would want is someone who would spend the last 12 years of his life creating a series of films, then turn his back on his last movie. Gunn wrote in response, I wasn't hired at DC without everyone on board being very clear and supportive upfront and continuously through this process. Now, that I'm not even gonna read the rest of this, right? We already know that he's writing and directing Superman Legacy, which is supposed to be his like, he's living his dream of telling that story, right? Like we all heard about his closeness to that movie, how his dad was close to that movie, and here we are. Well, not we. Here are the dumb DC fans going out there and ruining it for him, right? Like imagine having the passion to work on something you've always wanted to work on, or at least get the chance to work on now, and then that passion suddenly starts to decrease because of these dumb idiots going on Instagram or going on his social media and just firing back at him just because he's promoting his upcoming movie. So any movie he's going to post, whether it's Marvel or anything else, you're just going to bash it because obviously you have these Snyder heads that are going around and pretty much leaving hate under any movie he's doing regarding DC. And then now you have these DC shitheads that are going on his Marvel posts and saying anti-Marvel shit. You know what that does? It ends up ruining it for everyone. It ends up ruining it for DC fans because now DC fans won't really. Well, let me just start that up. It ruins it first for the director, right? The guy in charge, Gunn. If he loses his motivation, who's to say, from all the shit talk he's been hearing, who's to say he doesn't tomorrow just wake up and be like, you know what? All this trouble to fix such a shitty, broken fan base, is it really worth it? And if he says, nah, it's not really worth it, he could just live off and have fun with his family and then go back to Marvel, whatever the hell the case might be. And that ruins it for him. And all this hate then ruins it for all the DC fans because now the DC fans are looking dumb and shitty again, and you're not going to be able to really, the true DC fans, by the way, not the shitheads, the true DC fans now won't be able to see what they've always wanted to see on screen be on screen, right? And then you have the Marvel fanboys now. I mean, those guys have more ammunition. And it's going to be just as stupid to hear their side. Not talking about Marvel fans, I'm talking about the Marvel fanboys, the ones that are anti-DC and shit. What good does any of this bring? So this is my temptation to combat something like that. If you ever see anything like that, make sure you're able to go ahead and show your support, right? Like, be like, I'm a big DC fan, and this type of shit, it is not tolerable. We need to be able to show Gunn and the rest of the world that not all DC fans are like that. And it sucks that we're in this position in the first place, but it's because of these shitheads that are writing towards James Gunn, that are writing toward, regardless of who it is. Just because of their personal endeavors doesn't line up with what these shitheads want, right? So this is frustrating, man. I can't, I don't know. I don't know what to say about this. I don't know. I mean, I said a lot about it, but this is just stupid. It's plain stupidity right there. And these are the fanboys that don't deserve anything, man. Like, I wish we all had like DC and Marvel cards that were comic book cards, and then you could just take it or be like, all right, you don't represent the rest of us. Because that's stupid. And if Mr. Gunn, Mr. James Gunn, if you, for whatever, like 1 in a million chances you come across this video, whether it's today, 10 years from now, whatever, just know that majority of us DC fans, especially myself, right? I love DC as much as I love Marvel, slightly more than Marvel. But my point is, if you're watching this, just know you have our full support, and we are more than excited to see what you have on slate for us. We cannot thank you enough for coming up, stepping up to the challenge. I understand that your job is getting a little harder because of these shitheads, but just know you have our full support. And we wish you the best of luck. And for the rest of the Perspective people, I hope you all have a lovely day. Remember to spread love. Remember to spread love. Stop this damn hate. And until next time, I hope you guys have a great one.